right, guys, this man needs no introduction anymore. A few weeks ago, he tore his bicep the same exact way I did. Not doing stones, but tendon from muscle, right? So if you want to tell us a little more.
Tendon from muscle. I'll get mine out to show the gang. Exactly the same what you did, mate. And it's obviously if it's tendon off the shoulder, it's a lot. It can be fixed, it can be pulled back on. But yeah, mine, all the muscles are sort of rolled up. Mine was actually a lot worse than that. It was like literally like a little Popeye down here. And this was 6 weeks ago, so it's all sort of like coiled back up and it's starting to attach to the short head. That's what he said. That's what happens. All that sort of attaches onto the short head. I don't feel too bad, mate. To be honest, I'm still benching. I'm still doing my lats and all that kind of stuff. The other thing I will say is you just feel a little bit more unstable when you're benching and overheading, but you just know it's there, I think. But I'm adapting really quickly.
That's comforting to know that it's reattaching higher up by itself with no surgery necessary, just rest and recovery, and it's rolling back up.
Yeah. I mean, the doctor said, you'll probably lose between 15 and 20% strength.
My doctor told me 10, and he's your doctor.
Well, maybe I heard differently then. Maybe I just got that in my head. But yeah, you can, basically everything else will sort of adapt and work around it. And I reckon 12 months from now, I won't even know I've done it. It'll just be just as strong as this arm. So I'm not bothered. I think I've just got it out of my head. It's happened. I'm just carrying on. I was benching 220 kilo for 5 reps, literally 2 days after I did this. I'm just like, fuck it. It's done. It's detached. I can't do any more damage to it. So crack on with life.
Yeah, I think that's a great mindset for everyone who's dealing with the injury themselves. Personally, I think it's an improvement. He has a bigger peak now.
Look at that.
Yes. Can you imagine him on stage?
Compare it to that shit arm and the peak on that one. It's brilliant. In fact, I nearly want to go and detach this one, so I've got 2 massive biceps.
It's not a bad idea, to be honest. It's not a bad idea.
Not at all.
What other injuries do you have you want to mention? In the past?
Yeah, 2 years ago I actually dislocated my hip doing like a hack squat. So you're facing the wrong way in a hack squat, and I had all the plates on. I had a bar in there. I had about 700 kilo in weight. Did a few reps, and then I failed, so I dropped at the bottom. And instead of walking away like I should have done, I went back in and picked it up. And as I was halfway up, it just went. Managed to put it back, limped away. It felt weird, but I didn't know what I'd done. And then at the hospital, I had the MRI scans and everything. I dislocated, so my whole hip had just come out the joint and dislocated my hip. But at whatever point it had gone back in on its own. But of course, all the bone had broke, all the ligaments and tendons had stretched and got ripped. So for 2 years now, I've been limping on this leg, and I have to do a lot of activation stuff because this leg keeps dying. So like trapped nerves.
Yes. Right,
so I get a lot of atrophy in this leg. So I have to do a lot of like single leg stuff. A lot, making sure when I'm deadlifting, I'm picking the bar up, pausing, tensing this arse cheek, and then pulling.
I saw you do that in your latest video. You paused right before.
I have to do it now to activate the other glute because this leg's just gone to sleep. So I'm doing really well. They're both back to the same size now, but it's amazing. I did 10-year career in strongman. Not a fuck all of an injury really. I did nothing much, and then I won the Worlds and then dislocated my hip, and then I snapped my ankle. Now I've done my bicep, and it's like if I was still competing, I wouldn't have had these injuries because it's almost as if you've got your eye on the ball, you're more focused, you're more alert. You're attacking things with more assertiveness. You don't get injured, but because I'm just like, oh fuck it, I'm still doing the same weights. But I'm just more relaxed with it, and I think this is why I'm getting these stupid injuries. I'm not as focused and sort of on the ball as I should be.
Yeah. On that note, guys, if you don't know about his TV show coming out, The Strongest Man in History, it drops tomorrow in America, July 6th.
Yeah, or 7th, I'm one of them.
So this weekend, if you're watching the video today, I'm really excited for it. I think it's a great idea. The Strongest Man in History. Yep. And who else is starring in the show besides you?
So, Strongest Man in History for the History Channel. It's me, Brian Shaw, Robert Oberst, Nick Best. And it's basically those 4 guys going back in time, doing these feats of strength that you've seen pictures of. I've seen pictures of guys lifting bulls on the back, lifting elephants, leg pressing cars on stages in the Victorian times. And even figures like Hercules. This guy was made up out of nowhere, or was he real? And did the things he did, were they real or were they not? And we go back in time, we set the apparatus up, we try it, and basically if the strongest men on the planet can't do it, then it's bullshit. Or did they do some sort of trickery, some sort of technique? Did they use wires? Did they use leverage? You know, was there some sort of magic technique that we can't get into to like balance cars on the legs and stuff? So it's like investigative history of historic strongman like Louis Cyr, Paul Anderson, Apollo. There's so many I can't even name them. And obviously we've got our own twist. We do a bit of culture on each area we go to, and of course us being the guys we all rip into each other and have a great time. And I think it comes off on camera really well. So it should be a great show.
Yeah, I'm pumped for it. I'm pumped.